It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you? I'm...
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and happy holidays! Welcome to a very special edition here we have for you here at Nerd Culture. Tonight, we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of one of the best action-adventure films, at least in my humble professional opinion, of all time. It is called Vertical Limit, but we'll talk a little bit more as we go throughout the course of the night and the show. But I want to introduce the panel that we have for tonight's festivities. I am not alone in this action-adventure journey known as Vertical Limit. We are joined by Colin. Colin, how are you doing tonight, my man?
Good. I'm very much excited for this delightful dish of ham and cheese.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with a great meal and great food on a fantastical, what day are we on now? Tuesday. Thank you. And also joining us are the men and women behind the curtain at HWWS Web TV. They are Mr. and Mrs. Claus during the holiday season when they're, actually working, delivering presents to all the children of the world. That would be Garrett and Sage. Garrett and Sage, how are you doing tonight?
We are here. Yes, that is that. Yes, that's right. That's right. I'm at the top of a mountain. The hills are alive. Yes.
Yes, yes, they are indeed alive. Let's just hope that these hills we're about to travel up here on K2 between the China and Pakistan border don't have eyes, because that's a completely different movie from a completely different genre. But as I was saying, we are here to celebrate the 20th anniversary of a film known as Vertical Limit. This film is directed by Martin Campbell, who also directed hit films such as GoldenEye, which rebooted the Bond franchise starring Pierce Brosnan. He's also directed The Mask and Legend of Zorro, starring Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. As well as he rebooted the Bond franchise not once but twice, but 2006's film Casino Royale. Now with this film, just to give you a real quick synopsis without giving too much away, Vertical Limit is set on one of the most deadliest mountains in the world, known as K2, which is located between the China and Pakistan border. It's about a group of climbers going on a very dangerous mission, but they have to do it in order to rescue members of their families and their teams. Are they going to make it? Are they not? It's man versus nature. Who is going to be the victor at the end of this? We're going to find out as we go along. Now, if you want to watch this movie along with us, please queue up your Blu-ray copy, your DVD, or your streaming service. On my end, I have my Blu-ray copy. It's going to start around the 24-second mark after the Sony Pictures logo has faded out and gone into the opening credits where it says Columbia Pictures Presents. If you have a streaming service, it may be at the 34-second mark if you have it on Stars or what's the other one, Amazon Prime or another streaming service. So keep that in mind as we go along. And if you have any thoughts, questions, opinions about this wonderful film known as Vertical Limit as we go throughout the course of the night, drop them in the live chat. We're going to be monitoring that as we go throughout the course of the show. But aside from that, do our panelists have any last words before we venture into dangerous territory known as Vertical Limit?
I'm terrified of heights.
I'm not so big on heights either. That's true. By the way, Sage, we can't really hear you much. We're not picking you up there on your mic.
Oh, how about now?
Oh, there you are.
Is that better?
That is better.
Yes, I have rope, so it's okay.
You don't want to know why.
Yeah, that could go in a completely different conversation, in a completely different direction. Colin, are you ready for this journey?
I am.
All right, audiences, we hope that you're ready. Like I said, drop your comments in the live chat. We'll be monitoring as we go throughout the course of the night. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, hit play on your monitors. And opening credits are starting. There we go.
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow.
I grew up on that series too as a young lad.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love a little LeVar Burton in their lives?
No, absolutely. I had the pleasure of meeting him at a convention not too long ago at the Great Philadelphia Comic-Con in Oaks, PA, a few years back. He was wonderful. He signed my Reading Rainbow book titled Kate Shelley and the Midnight Express.
Ugh. God, look at that CG hawk.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
That's, ugh.
Remember, this film is 20 years young, so CGI was just kind of starting to evolve a little bit more so, but not as much as we do now.
I know. I'm just.
Well, it's in his big screen infancy, really. On the
Yeah,
small
that's
screen,
true.
they'd been doing it for a little while, but on the big screen, it was still in its infancy.
But they did actually film in Utah for this.
These buttes are actually quite picturesque to look at driving through there.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
It's just brilliant to look at.
Young Chris O'Donnell. This is only, what was it? The film came out in 2000. This is 3 years after he did the Razzie Award-winning performance in Batman and Robin.
See, now after Batman and Robin, one would question the logic in giving him a leading role.
Yes, that's true. But at the same time, this is not a comic book movie. This is just a straight-up action adventure movie, which I'm fine with because Batman and Robin, we don't need to talk about that.
Well, and at this point, Chris has already paid his dramatic dues
Oh, yeah.
as well with things like Scent of a Woman.
Mm.
He's paid those dramatic chops
Very true.
well past comic book movies. So where they might not have been a big fan of him in tights. Movie audiences are we're still pretty hot on Chris at that time.
Yeah,
That's true. The ladies certainly were.
And he's got a supporting cast in this that
a really good supporting cast.
I mean, you can't fail with these guys.
I'm going to tell you what. You just throw a rock. Don't.
Don't
No,
do
don't throw
that.
a rock.
Not here.
No, that would be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was my introduction to Robin Tunney, who plays Chris O'Donnell's sister in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah, it was the first time I saw her, and then I know she's done a few other films, but mostly I know her best as the co-lead on The Mentalist, which was a crime series on CBS.
Yes.
She also starred in The Craft.
The Craft.
Yeah, which, by the way, I still need to see The Craft.
The Craft, especially now because they just did the sequel.
Semi-sequel, yeah.
Yeah. It was actually more of a sequel, but and it left room for more, which was interesting.
It certainly did.
It ended in a great spot to leave room.
Oh, watch out.
I believe the father is Stuart Townsend, who was in The Mask of Zorro, which was also directed by Martin Campbell, and he was also the villain in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Fun fact for us 90s kids.
It's like Christmas lights. One goes, they all go.
That's right. That's right.
Oh no, his DSLR.
Yeah. Yes.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, his camera is no more.
Yeah, in 2000, guys, remember that's like a $1,500 camera too.
Yeah. Good product placement with, I believe it was a Nikon.
Yeah.
Nikon. Lots of DSLRs.
What's amazing, for the money, and I mean the optics are great because Nikon is just a great camera company. But for the money and everything that you paid back then, what you ended up with was about, I think you maxed out at about an 8 megapixel photograph.
Wow.
Today, your iPhone is shooting at like an 18 megapixel photograph, and a DSLR is, just unchartable 4K.
Oh no, those
More
two
links.
the two rock climbing bros.
Oh, they're done.
Yeah.
They call them the Smash Bros now.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Oh,
That's too much. It's too soon, man.
Wow.
Sorry, just getting all kinds of messages here. There we go. Got to put that cam in the mountain.
Now I have to tell you, I have some amazing, extraordinary children and extraordinarily well-disciplined growing up. However, I'm not sure of this next part.
Oh.
I'm not sure if I can. I mean, the boys pretty much, if I look at them.
No. It's the emotional blackmail. That's where they
look
get
at
you.
them seriously enough, I can get them to do almost anything that I tell them to do, but I'm really not sure about this next part.
No. The most climbing I've done in my life is the climbing wall at certain facilities or my local college campus. Other than that, I don't think I can go up an actual mountain.
I loved climbing when I was in the service.
Mm.
You did rappelling down out of helicopters.
You have to get up first. Well, no,
that's
not
true.
helicopter. The helicopter, you rappel out of a helicopter, but you practice on the mountainside first.
Oh, fun.
You have to get up, and then you come down. So
See, emotional blackmail.
Why am I laughing? That's not funny.
Do it. Save your sister. Save your sister. You are going to kill your sister. See, emotional blackmail, and they would do it.
Cut the rope. I can imagine someone taking a video edit of this scene and using Shia LaBeouf's words. Just do it.
There's that bird again.
Yeah.
At least this time I could believe that that's a real bird.
A real bird. Let me see.
Those are not bird tracks.
No.
3 years later, lower Himalayan Paxton. Okay. Earlier on, I thought this movie would have taken place 6 years later after that incident, but no, it's 3 years later.
Well, interesting enough, that is a good piece of movie trivia, because the actual script description in this says that it's 4 years later.
Wikipedia, you got it wrong.
Yeah, the screen says that it's 3 years later.
Yep.
And there are some other sources out there that say that it's 6 years later. So it is.
It's just later.
It's just later. Yeah.
Later. Yeah.
Long enough to grow his hair out.
Yeah, grow that hair out. Get a mullet in the back, like I'm trying to grow now.
He's growing his hair out a little bit.
No, no. I finally got my hair cut a month ago, so I just have short. I'm back to my normal self now. Under this hat, which a lot of people may think, oh, he doesn't have hair under that hat. Yes, I do. It's just I finally got it cut a month ago. Thanks for noticing.
Now, another interesting factoid on this, and Ryan, you had alluded to it earlier, is that this is a real kind of a man versus nature trope. Yes. This is the traditional man versus nature story. However, with the millennial sensibilities that are out there today, the original script for this movie didn't have an antagonist, didn't have a bad guy. It was just them versus the mountain. And so the character that we're going to meet a little later on as the antagonist in this film wasn't in the original script. That came along later.
Yeah.
So that the mountain wasn't the bad guy. So that the mountain was an obstacle, but it wasn't the big bad.
Yes. Better to be an obstacle than an adversary.
Exactly. Because there's just a more, we had the late 90s, early 2000s. There's more of a regard for nature and naturalism.
Exactly.
And the outdoorsmen out there. So they actually added an antagonist, a big bad guy, in order so that the mountain wouldn't be.
Wow, amazing.
Nice little nod there to remind us about his sister.
Yes.
In the magazine cover.
Mm-hmm.
So fake, it's real. No, I'm kidding. By the way, the helicopter pilot may be familiar to you Star Wars fans. That is Jango Fett himself. Tamora Morrison is flying that helicopter.
That's right. And not to give anybody spoilers for something that's only 6 days old, but he's also officially Boba Fett again.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
That was a great week, wasn't it, folks? That episode of Mandalorian, it was so good.
Talk about 100% a beautiful payoff fan service.
More action sequences and more lines than he ever had in a little indie film called Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Well, remember, guys, in Empire and Jedi, Boba was actually voiced by another actor as well.
Yes, completely different actor. At the
Jeremy Bulloch, who has made a career out of those 15 minutes of fame, quite literally.
Indeed.
We do see him at conventions a number of times.
Indeed. He's a fan favorite. He's made an entire career out of a character that saw about, I think they timed it out at about 8 minutes of screen time in 2 films.
Wow.
Yeah. And, at least you got an even number there, buddy. Not that it matters.
And then they dubbed over again, because they actually did put our guy here. They dubbed Jeremy's
the recuts were Tamora Morrison's lines.
That's right. He redid all the lines. So
good to see him again in this film. So strange seeing him with a mustache, though.
He was younger.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago, so a lot of things were different back then. Yeah.
Done a lot of other things in the past little while too, hasn't he? He was looking him up earlier.
Oh yeah, he's hopped up here and there.
Yeah, he popped up in a lot of things. hair, no hair, mustache, no mustache.
Yeah. I mean,
many of our, I know from the nerd culture audience here, many of our nerd culture fans might recognize him from Aquaman. He actually was Arthur Curry's father in the Aquaman.
Aquaman's father, yeah.
That's right.
King of the Seven Seas, Aquaman. Which I'm very much looking forward to, even though it's going to take 5 or 10 years because of COVID. Looking forward to Aquaman 2 with Jason Momoa. Looking forward to that as well.
By the way, the commanding officer here, anybody else recognize him from other films?
No, what was he in?
He was in Street Fighter as Dr. Dhalsim.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Dude!
Dr.
Dunson. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was also in,
what was the other one?
Is Prime Minister Nehru in Gandhi.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that's right. He certainly
No
was.
kidding.
Yeah, guys, the supporting cast in this film is
stacked.
absolutely
It's
stellar.
stacked.
It really is.
My goodness gracious, Colin. Welcome to the Fun Facts Club, my man. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. I did not notice that.
That was what we had seen. Our guy who plays Boba in last was Dora, the live action.
Oh, that's
Dora.
right. The live action of Dora.
Can you say neural toxicity?
Wait a minute. He was in the Dora, the Lost City of Gold?
Yes, he was. He was Powell.
Oh, my gosh. Why do we have to bring up that movie? No, I'm sorry. It's targeted at a different audience. I saw the trailer and I was like, yep, not the target audience. I'm not going to watch it. Thank you.
No, you know what?
It.
It was worth the watch. It was somewhere between what the kids had wanted, because the kids grew up with Dora. But it was also about halfway to what about 2 years earlier, College Humor on the internet had introduced the concept of a Dora live action movie. Remember that?
Oh, no kidding.
And they did College Humor did a teaser for a live action Dora.
I think I watched that.
And it went viral. Everybody was just crazy about it. And of course, College Humor's got a more adult slant on things. So I think with the film, they actually went about halfway. They went from the animated halfway to the College Humor, but not all the way, because then no kid would have been able to watch it.
Well, that's true. Did you see that tent? That was one hell of a tent.
No doubt.
Wow.
There's a lot of tents in this movie.
Yeah. I remember when I was at
I'm a wigwam. I'm a teepee. I'm a wigwam. I'm a teepee. I'm sorry. I'm just too tense.
What was that, Colin?
Oh,
Colin, were you trying to say something a moment ago?
please save me. Say something.
I just what was it? When I was a kid, I was always like, I had a sort of fascination with mountaineering, especially with Everest.
Mm-hmm.
And was it one of the people in the 96 Everest disaster is actually in this movie for like a hot second.
Yeah, he's actually the technical advisor.
Yes,
on the film.
Feasters, yeah,
he did the.
That's right.
The events of the film, while fictitious, are actually based on the 96 Everest tragedy, and so they hired him to be the technical advisor, and then he does get a cameo where he does it, and there are actually several lines between characters that are based on last words during the 96 tragedy.
Yes.
Including when later in the film here, when the sister tells her brother
don't give it away.
To go away, not to do this thing that he's doing. That whole segue was actually written from the 96 tragedy, from a tape of a final goodbye.
Yes. Ed Vesters. That's his name. That's our guy.
Ed what?
Ed Vesters.
Vesters. Okay.
Investors. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like an investment market, just without the IN. Okay.
There you go.
Yes.
Let's see here. Just to let everyone know at home.
I didn't butcher it.
Because he's not an investor, he's an outvestor. Outdoor.
Boy, Gary, you got some dad jokes over there, man. No, I'm kidding. Look, we're getting toward, just to let everyone know at home, we're getting towards around the 60-minute mark in this movie, and we're at a scene where the brother and sister are reunited. Now they're going to a tent with a mysterious man played by Scott Glenn. Wonderful actor. I was first introduced to his work in the Disney film Tall Tale, The Unbelievable Adventure with the late, great Patrick Swayze.
Yes, I remember Tall Tale.
Now, Tall Tale. That's a fun family film.
Here's a great bit. Scott Glenn here, who is sort of He's the
veteran
Obi-Wan of K2 here. He's the most experienced. He is really our wise old man on the mountaintop.
Got the beard to prove it.
Yeah. In the first shot of him, of his leg, because he's lost his toes to frostbite over the years, the shot of that foot is actually a real climber's foot.
Oh my goodness!
Up on a real mountain climber's foot who had actually lost his toes. So that early shot of our old wise man's frostbitten, missing toes is actually a real shot. That's a shot of one of our actual.
Really good editing.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Good editing.
Now, Mr. Vester says that unlike a lot of films of the day, he would actually show this to his climbing buddies and be pretty proud of it because they got so much right.
Well, that's a good thing. Always a positive. I can't. Oh, this is gonna kill me. The one actor. What's his name? He was on X-Files as Scully's partner when Mulder left.
The other way around. He was Mulder's partner when Scully left.
Mulder.
Alex Krycek was the character name. His name is Nicholas.
I forget the full name. Nicholas something.
Lay. Yes.
Nicholas Lay. Okay.
Nicholas Lay. And,
and I know him from
Bill Paxton, guys. Yeah. A young Bill Paxton.
We missed you, Bill.
Yep.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
R.I.P. Bill Paxton.
Man, they're gonna get us. Get away, man! Oh my God, man, they're gonna kill us, man.
Yeah,
that's the great Bill Paxton.
Yeah, and the great thing about Bill Paxton is he's the only one to ever be killed by a Terminator, an Alien, and a Predator. He's the only actor ever to been killed by 3 killing machines in the same sort of weird universe. So hey, Bill, if you're watching this from above, thanks for everything, man, because you're a solid actor.
It's really a Terminator, a Predator, and of course, eventually 3 wives.
Yeah. Now this young actress here in the tent, who's the medical advisor or medical personnel in the tent, I know her best as Natalia Semyonova from the great Bond film known as GoldenEye, who was coincidentally enough directed by the same person, Martin Campbell, who directed this. And this is her 5 years later. I'm like, Isabella, honey, where have you been? You had to wait 5 years just to see you again? What the heck?
Interestingly enough, Tamura, our Boba Fett, he was in Never Say Die.
Yes.
So
there's some Bond alumni.
Bond connection through this.
There's some great alumni.
Never Say Die or Never Say Never Again?
Yes.
Which one?
You have to clarify now.
I have to now.
There's like 50
knowledge bombs. You have to have actual knowledge in.
Never Say Die from '88.
Never Say Die. There you go.
Oh, interesting. And this young man here, who Chris O'Donnell's talking to, Robert Taylor, we know him best as Walt Longmire from the TV series of the same name, Longmire. Great actor, great series, I might add. Longmire is badass. If you haven't seen it, stream the heck out of it.
That's right. Starbuck in the Old West.
That's
one and only Katie Sackhoff.
Katie. Katie's been very busy as of late.
Katie's been very busy.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
Very busy for Katie Sackhoff. And Robert Taylor had much longer hair back then.
And a much younger face.
Yes. We all know the old adage, 20 years ago we were much younger. 20 years later, we're too old for this shit. Well, some of us are. I mean, Colin and I are still, then Sage. All 3 of us are still young. I don't know about Garrett, though.
I like him.
Oh, geez.
I know, right? It's all right, Colin. We can still enjoy our youth.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, yeah.
I do want to. I do note the as you watch the poses and all the action that they go through, right? And it's a note that I had in my head earlier when we knew we were coming on tonight. The changing paradigm of masculinity in the last 20 years is amazing. This is filled with this 20th century bravado. He can't even tighten the bolt on his thing without putting his arms out here like this. We have to see all the rip. It's a great, filled with that 20th century bravado that in today's film market would probably kill you. There, look.
Thank God he didn't beat on his chest.
A young Martell Prince.
Dr. Bashir. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That too.
Yes. For Star Trek fans, he's Dr. Bashir, but Game of Thrones fans will recognize in the background there.
That's it. They panned away from him very quickly. Did you see that?
Well, we'll get him. We'll get him a little bit more later when he feigns his Indian accent.
Oops.
Yes. These guys are fun. Great comic relief.
Mm-hmm. What is it? Cyril and what's his name? He was the other character. Cyril and his brother Mac. Is it Mac? No.
Oh boy.
Can't remember
names there again.
They'll say it. They'll say it later. They will.
Malcolm.
Thank you. Cyril and Malcolm. Boy, Bill Paxton on a microphone. He knows how to host a party.
Now, again, guys, remember that Bill Paxton's character was not in the original script for this.
Mm-hmm.
It was the original script was Man versus Mountain.
Yep. They brought him on. They're like, hey, we'll sell more tickets if we have Bill Paxton in our film.
We'll have Bill Paxton, and the Mountain won't be the bad guy. We're going to make Bill Paxton our industrial tycoon.
Yes. Venturing up a mountain.
Yeah, because he can, kind of thing, and then
because he has money.
Yeah, the trouble that ensues is, man's arrogance in the face of nature. All the great 80s and 90s messages that are just wrapped up into this.
Not only is he a millionaire, he's a Texan millionaire.
Oh, yeah, he's wearing that hat proudly.
There you go, guys. In 2000, guys, remember, if you are going to pick on somebody about their millions and whatever, it'll be a Texan.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very 2000 is a very heated year.
Yeah.
Where do they get all those glasses up there on the mountain?
Yeah, they have suppliers, maybe.
Just saying.
I don't know. Maybe they got them at Caldor where they all closed up.
Bill Paxton brought glasses. He's a billionaire, They made a big deal. It was great. They made a big here we go.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Showdown. Do. Welcome, Scott Glenn.
What about the mountain, Mr. Vaughn? Mm-hmm. I'm actually a few seconds ahead of you. I can hear your feed in the background. I'm a few seconds ahead of you guys. At least it's only a few seconds, though.
Scott Glenn. Now, there's a long and storied career.
Wow.
Powerhouse.
I think back to The Right Stuff, where he gets to give life to Ellen Shepard.
Another movie I should probably add to my list.
Oh, such a good movie.
No, I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
The star-studded cast in that movie. They weren't stars at the time, but they would become all of them would become huge stars after that movie. And the same here. Where you look at all the people that we see here in this movie that we recognize, even the smaller parts.
Yeah,
these were all people that went on to do film and television for the next 10 or 15 years.
Oh yeah,
or 20 years, and we've got to see them in so many other things. That it's amazing. It's really stark to see them young, and But Scott Glenn, not so much. He had already had a wonderful career by the time he got to this.
That's a beautiful shot. I just want to tell you that.
About to shave the beard now with an old school razor, no doubt.
That was interesting. We were doing this today, and I was thinking about Scott Glenn and his role in The Right Stuff. And it was particularly a reminder.
Oh God, he's not shaving.
Yesterday, portrayed in the same film.
Oh yes,
the fastest man alive passed away.
Yes,
at
he did
age
at
97. 97.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeager.
Chuck Yeager, first man to break the sound barrier in the X1.
Oh, wow.
Passed away yesterday.
Look at that old laptop.
Yeah, don't remind me that my laptop is old, please. No, I'm kidding. My laptop is far more advanced than hers, but still.
That's right. She's on the IBM ThinkPad 1. He's got
Yeah.
the IBM ThinkPad 2.
And I'm on a completely different laptop, which is much better than what she has. So that's true. I'll give you the technological point on that one. But
hers does math. Period.
Yes.
It's like a calculator with a screen.
It's very clunky, that laptop. Look at the size of that thing.
You know, it weighs like 1,000 pounds too.
Oh,
Does it? Yeah.
Well, I'm sure.
It's true.
I think I had one of those back in the day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I also had a flip phone that was large enough to, they were pretty sure it was giving me cancer because it was.
If I remember correctly, I think the last time I saw this movie was like either when the pandemic first started, or maybe it was at some point last year. So it hasn't been too long since I've seen this. But just out of curiosity for our panelists at the table, Colin, when was the last time you saw this thing?
This was, wow. I think the last time I saw this movie, for a while, the group that I do podcasting with, we had a real Jones for this movie. We watched it like 3 times in a row, tried to play a drinking game to it. We never got it finished. So I'd say it was like about 3 or 4 years ago. It's probably the last time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been years.
It's been a hot minute for you over there, hasn't it, Garrett?
Yeah, it has.
Yes, but before this came out in what, 2000?
Yeah,
So,
December of 2000, right near Christmas time.
It's
so
been,
I'm sure that 2001 was the last time that I had probably seen it.
Probably, yeah. I mean, this is not a regular watch for us, and
That's fair.
And of course we move through things so fast.
That's true.
And for the last 4 or 5 years, movies, television, that's been our homework. So we move pretty fast through things. We don't get to go back and revisit very much, but it was good to revisit this. Though it was good to see all these faces young, and
some of them were still alive.
Always good to see Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton was a phenomenal actor. Just brought so much to every role that he did. And whether it was a serious role or a comedic role or an action role, he brought his A game every time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I think the first time
Dr. Bashir.
The first time I saw Bill Paxton in anything that I knew it was Bill Paxton, like I remembered him from that role, was back watching Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And watching him be the biggest cowardice butthead in space it just left you just were like, wow.
Well, now he's going to be the biggest butthead on that mountain.
That's right. But not in space.
Which I still need to do a binge watch of the franchise, because I've only seen of that franchise. Just a quick sidebar: I've seen Alien.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen Prometheus, which I enjoyed. I'm in the minority, but come at me, bro. Alien Covenant was garbage. And then I saw AVP 1 and 2, and I thought, fine. Nothing too spectacular, but they're fine for what they were. But nothing too spectacular. But I haven't seen Aliens or Alien 3 or Resurrection, so I got to do a binge watch at some point.
But and those are Alien 3, and Resurrection. Those are actually the story arc. That's the Ripley story arc.
Ripley, yes.
I mean,
Alien. So I have seen Alien.
It introduces the character, and she gets to be the quote final girl.
She gets the cat.
Yeah, but her story arc as a heroine, Sigourney Weaver as a badass, really Aliens kicks that off and gives you about a 3 episode arc. And then from there we get into all the extended universe, as it were, AVP and
Requiem,
and that's the extended Alien universe. Actually, the Prometheus films were okay. Prometheus itself was really good. I think what it did really well was it made the audience talk. Everybody wanted to, early on, are we in the same universe? Really? Is it? Isn't it? It really got people talking about the franchise again in a brilliant Hollywood way.
Yeah.
Now we're on the mountain with our...
Yeah, the scene where she's climbing or going from one side of the mountain to the other on that zip line or that, rope blade, whatever it was called. I'd be scared out of my mind to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So far off the ground, Colin, I'd be scared out of my mind.
That's some cliffhanger shit.
Yeah, which another movie I need to sit down and watch because I've heard good things about it.
The cliffhanger is more of a heist action adventure movie.
Yes,
There's
but I've
climbing
heard good things about it.
There's climbing in it. In fact, our Mr. Vest here, who did the consulting for this, one of his pet peeves in life is actually the comparison between this movie and Cliffhanger, because there is so much technically wrong with the mountain climbing in Cliffhanger.
Just another excuse to have a Stallone movie.
That's right, but it's a better action film. It's a Stallone piece. It's made for high-paced adventure action. Stallone gets to do a lot of really cool things that you really can't do when you're climbing. But hey, it's great because you get to see his muscles while he does it, and the girls go wild, and the guys get all bravado, and we get all fired up. You know, it's like going to see a Rocky film. Every guy that walks out of a Rocky film wants to pick a fight with the next guy he sees.
Adrian.
That's right. We can win. We can do it.
Adrian. No, I'm kidding.
But I mean, so he does get you riled up, get your blood pumping.
Yeah.
But it's a good heist film.
I'll have to look it up and watch it one of these days.
And of course, you can never go wrong when when you cast John Lithgow as anything.
That's true.
Anything you can cast him as anything.
Yeah.
He could be a preacher. He can be an alien. He can be anything. Or he can be a bank robber.
Well, for those of you who are joining us tonight, hello, Matt MacGyver. Any relation to the Terry MacGyver we know?
Hello,
dude.
Matt MacGyver. How
He's
are
our
things?
Singing Irishman, that one.
Yeah.
Ah.
How are things in Ireland, Matt?
Yeah, how are you doing, Matt? Thanks for joining us tonight. We are watching Vertical Limit. We're at the, let me see, scene. One of the teams is going up the mountain. We're about 33 minutes into the running time of this film. So if anyone's interested, feel free to put on your copy on Blu-ray or your streaming service.
You could actually find this on in streaming services on Hulu if you have the Stars package. You can also find it on
well, you can find it on Prime. But
Amazon Prime, but you have to purchase it.
You do have to purchase it, and of course on Vudu and YouTube.
And iTunes, but then there was another streaming service that had it also. One of the smaller ones.
Oh yes, Sling TV.
Oh, you have Sling
TV.
Yes,
yeah, you can also find it there.
Sling. There's a name I've not heard in a long time.
It's like I hear it every time there's a Hulu commercial on one of the. I have the Hulu Live package, so in addition to the movies, I also have the live TV portion. And so every time there's a Hulu commercial, it seems that they're advertising Sling, which is just hilarious to me.
Is it?
Because it's literally, hey, if you're watching on Hulu, go ahead and turn your Hulu off and get Sling TV.
Sling.
Slingers.
Oh
That's
my
their
God, the Slingers commercial.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
What is it? Matt says he has no relation to Terry, but he does live 3 minutes away from our good friend over there, so that's nice.
Yes. No, Matt and Terry.
Terry MacGyver, Matt MacGyver, like Smith.
They have been phenomenal members of our community. They show up for a lot of the broadcasts and
good to see you, Matt.
Inject some really insightful messages into our chat feed.
Indeed,
Indeed, yes.
Well, thank you for being with us. I really like Bill Paxton's outfit. It's got the red, white, and blue Americana look.
Oh yeah,
very patriotic.
If you're gonna climb a mountain, do it with fashion. Do it with style.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
got the whole package there.
And I mean, again, we're about 35 minutes into the movie.
Yes.
So you guys don't know this yet, but just understand: do it with fashion, do it with style, and don't do it with Bill Paxton.
True.
Don't climb a mountain with Bill Paxton.
And if you're curious about what the movie looks like on a poster or promotional materials, here's your visual cue.
Ah, there we go. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, this is our Friendly Neighborhood Blu-ray right here. He says hi.
It's a lot of fun. Look at that.
Some of our main characters. And that says experience high definition because there's nothing better than Blu-ray. At least in my opinion.
That's a miniature version of the actual movie poster.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Back in the day. And it is one of the fun things to do when you look back at these movies, especially as they're hitting their 20 or their 30-year mark or whatever like this. We're in our 20 years here with this. Mm-hmm. Looking back at that art. Each decade, every has a style that you can sort of look at it and say, that's from the 1940s, that's from the and this is literally, this is like even though it came out in 2000, it came out in December 2000. This is sort of the final 1990s film when it comes to the art style and the way that they packaged it.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, see, he knows bad news is happening. That's not foreboding at all.
The acting choices and style here are interesting to watch too. 20 years in retrospect, just that melodrama in his face, you know, and of course the heavy music, you know, just bad things are about to happen. Very melodramatic. I noticed that she never said a word to him. She just looked at him.
She did. That was that we have to turn back look.
Get me the down is what that was.
You know what happens when you yell at the mountain?
Yeah, he angry at the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone put a supercut of all the times that the F-bomb is dropped in a PG-13 rated film, and whoever created that, I like it because this clip was featured, and I'm like, got to put in vertical limit, man.
We talked about this earlier, just before the storm really came on.
Sure.
There was the argument between the two characters, our expedition leader and our Bill Paxton character. Okay, Nicholas and Bill Paxton get into an argument, and I was struck in 2020. The world we live in 2020, the sensibilities that we have compared to 1999 and 2000. Okay.
Oh boy, there she goes.
The comparison of climbing the mountain, they did a basically a date night comparison where Bill Paxton's character says to Nicholas, "What did you expect her to pull up her skirt and slide her panties off
for you?" Right.
And I'm struck by that in 2020, thinking, whoever wrote that, if they'd written it now, would be A, fired.
Yes.
And B, Twitter would have killed them.
Yes.
Because it's just, you know, the concept of conquering a mountain is the same as what? Conquering a woman?
Yeah, no. That's
that
not going to
probably
fly,
wouldn't
dude.
fly. Yeah, today.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't fly, but it definitely would. It would definitely like just.
Oh, it would sell him as the bad guy.
His character.
Oh yeah, it would sell him as the bad guy for sure.
Oh, that's not good.
My first time I saw this movie, I really wish I could go back and see this in a theater, because this is a movie you truly need to experience and just feel it in a theater, because this shot and a few other shots that are going to take place a little bit later on in the film, I'm like I would be gripping my theater seat going like, oh my gosh, like this is good. This is intense. It's awesome. It's fantastic. This is stuff I want to see when I'm at a movie theater. Like this scene is just, I mean, yeah, you could tell it's CGI, but man, seeing this for the first time when I saw it on DVD, I was like, they really just get smashed by an avalanche like just now? That is insane.
They actually created.
Yeah, the cuts are a little clumsy because they had to create the avalanche separately as a composite.
CGI, yeah.
They did create the avalanche though. They actually went out and blew up some snow.
They certainly did.
And created this avalanche, and then used, you know, matte technology, you know, digital technology to superimpose the avalanche into our scene. So
the roar of that snow is just amazingly intense.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
We didn't know. Even though your scientist was saying don't, they should really turn around. That shit's going to fuck them up.
Like everyone told them that.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what he's thinking right now? Chris Carter did this to me every time. And now here I lay, busted up again.
Yes.
Nicholas's character on the X-Files was a one-off.
Krychek,
Krychek was a replacement because Gillian Anderson was pregnant and was going to be out for several episodes of that season. And so his character was introduced, and then right about the time when Gillian is supposed to come back, he pulls the double cross and becomes a bad guy.
Yes.
And that arc was so
hate him.
Yeah, that arc was so popular with fans, and he was such a popular guy to hate that Chris Carter took great joy and delight in every time the character was brought back, they tortured him a little bit more. They put him in a coma. They gave him alien DNA. They chopped his hand off. He goes abused for years for a character that he was only going to do for a couple episodes. So I don't know if that speaks well of the performer or of the director who wanted to beat on the performer regularly.
That's it. Did you hear that? So there, she's crying for all those people because who knows what somebody meant to her that just got squashed by all that snow. And he said, if you're going to do that, go do that someplace else. Now, I get you're not supposed to have hysterical crying women when you're trying to solve a problem, but even so. Shut up, kid. You bother me. I mean, really, that's what it amounted to.
Oh, sure, but he can sit over there and just...
Well, he's being quiet. That's why nobody said anything to him.
Oh, I see. Still looks a little whiny.
Peter Garrett is upset.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. He hears something. He hears something over the walkie-talkie, I believe.
Dash.
Dash.
Do any of you know Morse code?
I did when I was young.
No.
I don't anymore. I know, this is going to sound really funny. I know that quite by happenstance, not on purpose, that shaving a haircut done in the proper order is SOS.
Yes.
Wow.
It wasn't intended that way, but the thing that you hear.
Really?
It's actually a little bit different. Is SOS.
Yeah.
So shaving a haircut is actually SOS.
Yeah.
I don't even remember why I know that.
Roger Rabbit told you that.
No, Roger.
Sorry,
Rabbit.
I'm just teasing. Roger
Rabbit. RK Maroon. Tunes. It's definitely one of the lines I remember hearing uttered so many times in that movie. Tunes. And then he takes a sip of Jack Daniels. There's another one. R.I.P. Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Eddie Valiant. I know him best as Eddie Valiant, and then Mario.
I don't know what the line here is because I can't really hear it, but I'm pretty sure it's someday I'm going to die on this mountain, and then I'm going to end up in a wheelchair in the desert.
But before that happens, I'm going to go
to outer space
and stay there for a little while.
Yes, do space, be a doctor,
and play with my friend Dex.
Who was it that posted this the other day? Terry, our good friend Terry, posted the GIF of because a movie celebrated a lot of movies celebrate their anniversaries like every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Well, one of them just happened to celebrate their 36, 35 Spies Like Us. And then Terry MacGyver posted a GIF of where they say, doctor, like in the tent, in the medical tent.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, Terry, where do you find these GIFs, man? Oh. But yeah, Spies Like Us just turned 36, directed by John Landis. So feel free to Google that after this movie.
I was a kid when that came out. I was a teenager. Those were just what we would see, you know.
Spies Like Us, yeah. He wants to go up there and get his sister, but everyone says, "Don't do it."
Well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Just let him die. Is that what you're saying?
I was gonna say this is an interesting math equation, moral math here. There are 3 in the cave, 3 survivors of the initial
entire
avalanche.
Team, yeah,
3
in the cave.
To mount the expedition up, they are in the process of determining how many they need, and they end up with quite a pack.
Yes.
So we're going to risk the lives of some 8 or 9 to save 3.
Wouldn't you go though?
Yeah, I think I would.
Your sister,
it was my sister, yeah.
Yeah.
But talking other people into it might be a difficult math problem.
I don't think it would be difficult for you. You could probably talk them into it.
Yeah, if there's one thing we know about HWWS web TV executives known as Garrett, he's very good at something known as talking. And why do we know that, ladies and gentlemen? Because he never shuts up about it. So
I haven't. I have never shut up about my ability to not shut up.
That's true.
Yeah. Sometimes we got to ask our producer, Sage. Sage, can you muzzle him for a few hours?
Not a few hours. I can give you a few minutes.
Few minutes? I don't know about a few hours, though. That's asking a little too much.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Sorry, Garrett. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you choke on the dinner plate there.
I lost my soda through my nose that time.
Sorry, buddy.
I want to know.
And Dina did lose her soda through her nose, by the way.
Sorry, Dina, working backstage. Sorry.
So they just keep these charges up there.
Guys, remember, it's a war zone.
Explosive. Okay. These are explosives, by the way. These are explosive charges.
This is a war zone.
Yes, it is.
Hey, by the way, guess what you can take with you up the mountain? I mean, really?
Take these in a pack.
This is I wrote it down, the name, the LOC, line of control. I touched something. Oh boy, the line of control, which is sort of a DMZ for Pakistan and India. And this conflict in 1999, as a matter of fact, when they were filming, this conflict was active on the LOC between Pakistan and India. So in the beginning of the film, we heard our Boba Fett here tell us, time to wake up the Indians. That's their morning barrage.
That is their,
Don't you? That's horrible when somebody has that look on their face and they say, "Don't move."
Don't move your feet. In this case, do not move your feet because his boot is on top of the ooze that made the Ninja Turtles in 1991. No, I'm kidding. That's not the ooze, ladies and gentlemen. That is not the secret of the ooze. That is a completely different movie. Which, by the way, that movie turns a healthy 30 next year.
Wow.
I know. We're gonna have to do an anniversary for that one, Colin. Right? Cowabunga. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because if you're familiar with NECA has put out Toka and Razor 2-pack, and they also put out the Super Shredder from NECA. In case anyone doesn't know what NECA is, they're a company that makes action figures that are a bit more detailed.
How many of us here are that committed to a friend, guys? He's standing in nitro, and you have to reach down and take his nitroglycerin shoe off.
Take the boot
and
off.
The slightest jolt will do that.
Look at the size of that audience for a bonfire.
There's also sad.
That's a lot of people, by the way.
It's a nice juxtaposition, though, from all of the revelry that happened right before they went up the mountain.
It is. Yeah. It is. It actually, the stakes are really seen here on everybody's face.
Yes.
Oh, he said 4 more, so there's going to be 6 of them.
Did you notice that he has a little pot leaf bandana on?
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Now, these guys were actually based on the Burgess brothers, who were a mountain climbing duo out of England.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's the tech advisor, isn't it? One in the blue hat or the blue jacket, whatever it is.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tech advisor. Yeah.
Bringing in the cameo, baby.
And he has a few good lines, too.
Yeah.
You just leave him up there. What do you call that? It's reality.
Like, I'm not going. That's.
Oh, someone just volunteered as tribute.
There you go. May the odds be ever in your favor to follow up to Ryan.
That's right.
Sorry, kids. That's a 2012, 2020. When did the first one come out? 2013? The 2020? Jeez, these movies are. Oh, time flies.
A weak man will never rule Dorne again.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
If I remember correctly, the first one was 2012. Yeah, because the sequels came out a year after because the studio wanted to put them out faster than Gary Ross wanted to. So Gary Ross left, and then Francis Lawrence replaced him as the director of the Hunger Games franchise. Says no at first, and then he tells people, hey, we got to do this, so why not?
We're in. That's right.
I like his speech, though. He's like, nah, we don't want to do it. We want to stay here where we have all this free stuff. He's like, no. Full endorsement to wankers. Yeah, that's great turnaround. Someone's writing the checks. Well, there's a question for you, Colin. Would you do it for $500,000?
See, like I said, when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, I want to climb. Like now, I'm just like, nope. Nope. You couldn't pay me to do it.
Yeah.
For the experience, I'd love to be on like an Everest climb. A summer Everest climb. It's like when they let the tourists go. But like a K2, like pro climbing, hell no.
You couldn't pay Garrett and Sage all the money in the world to do it.
No.
Now, out of horrible desperation,
Sadly,
people can do things like, I won't jump out of an airplane. However, if my life or someone else's that I cared about depended on it, then I would. So I'm not going to climb this mountain, not unless there's a damn good reason.
I don't know if you could pay me all the money in the world to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
I have to go climb the mountain. See?
I don't know if I'd be willing to jump out of an airplane because I saw that little extreme, what is it called? The X Games movie called Point Break.
Yeah.
With John Wick and Johnny from, Dirty Dancing. And I was like, the what is it called? The skydiving sequences in that movie are I think the movie stunt sequences overall are fantastic, but the skydiving really, I was like jamming. I was like, and then he looks at Johnny Utah. He's like, "Isn't this great?" He's like, "It's great." I'm like, "Good for you, man. I'm enjoying watching you experience this, but I don't know if I'd be willing to do it myself." I mean, if John Wick wants to go with me, then I'd be like, "Well, John Wick, I trust John Wick with my life, so
I can't speak for actually jumping out of an airplane.
A perfectly good airplane.
However, there is an adrenaline buzz that comes from just being in the doorway of an aircraft and heading out and it is you and your wits and what you've been trained to do. I did air assault in the Army, which is dope on a rope.
Oh,
that's
what they call it.
Jump out of a perfectly good helicopter dangling from a 250-foot rope and slide down like you're in a backyard playground.
And you had so much fun.
I did.
See?
It was wonderful. And there's just a great adrenaline rush to it.
My goodness gracious. Fair to say you've had your own a fair amount of adventures in your life.
That's a great way to say I got old.
Something like that.
I had a lot of adventures. I got old.
Yeah.
Adventures.
So much so you should write a book. You should write some books about it. Oh wait, no, you already have a few books out that are available for the holiday season, which we will get to a little bit later on. There's your pack of 5, but they said they want to get 6. So who's going to be the 6th team member?
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh,
there's 5 of them. But where's the 6th?
Now I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, wait
Where's
a minute.
team member? Oh, wait a minute. Is that it?
I think it's interesting here, right here. Bam. There you go. Now,
Quality.
I just want to say what 1 in 6 is not equal, by the way.
Sorry.
But we'll give it. Okay.
All right.
They get a nod, but they're running the same. We just haven't transitioned yet. They're running the same trope.
Well, that's true.
She's a one-off. She's got that tough girl feel. She is a bat right there. Boom.
She just punched a guy.
But I hurt my hand. I hurt my hand. However, again, we're in transition here. So the fact that she gets to be the tough chick is good. Moments in transition. Without her, you don't get to Captain Marvel. You don't get to, later on to the Hunger Games. You got to go through her first. And you got to go through Princess Leia before that. And you know what I mean? You got the touchstones along the way. And she's bringing it.
You have to tell them about something. Let me see. Something about that later. And then what else am I missing?
They're all so somber.
And then the one dude with the comic relief. What are you doing? Trying to kiss my ass, good boy.
Exactly.
Not the worst idea.
Was that a pot leaf on his shoulder, embroidered on his coat? I don't know.
What was it? Oh.
Probably.
Somebody will have to tell me. Look again. It was on his right shoulder.
I wonder. Yeah, what was it? I think what was it? We were talking about Tamora Morrison as the pilot of this helicopter sequences. I wonder how much the merchandise for certain characters in the Star Wars galaxy are flying off the shelves because of the last 3 episodes alone. Jeez.
Yep.
All about the merch, people. It's all about the merch.
I will say that if you're online shopping for the holidays,
better do it now.
You better, because especially if you're a Star Wars fan or you're a big franchise fan, because out of stock, I'm starting to think is a store location. When you scroll down, out of stock, it is.
And not just for Christmas gifts, by the way. If you do grocery shopping online, you see more out of stock.
Yeah.
Than I've seen in, I don't know, since the beginning of this whole crazy year.
I mean, I remember when I know this is not relevant to the movie, but quick sidebar, the one of the latest storylines that is flying off the shelves in comic book stores around the world is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. First printing sold out in like mere seconds, if not hours. And now they just announced they're doing a second printing, which is coming out tomorrow on New Comic Book Day. So hopefully I can get that and actually read it because I'm intrigued by the storyline. Yeah, anyway, that was a quick sidebar about comic books. Back to the movie at hand.
No, get your geek stuff now while you still can. That's for sure.
Actually, I may have to call my local comic store tomorrow and say, "Hey, can you mail order? Send over the copy of The Last Ronin second printing because I really want to read it."
Well, he has more luck getting a copy of that comic book than he does if he would want the new PlayStation.
True that. True that.
Yeah, everyone has been yapping about how they want a PS5 or an Xbox, whatever. What is the new Xbox called? Xbox One or?
Well, I don't know about the Xbox, but it's the PlayStation 5. That's the hot.
That's flying
right now. Yeah.
That is flying so fast that it's almost impossible to get. And I'm waiting for the news because Steven saw something really interesting earlier today on his Walmart app. Apparently, they're out of stock. But there were pre-orders or whatever, a certain number in stores, and apparently they were selling for 3 times the price in a retail store, which is fundamentally that is generally considered gouging. So I doubt that was accurate, other than to say that maybe the app got hacked or something because of all the orders. Because generally speaking, Walmart doesn't triple their prices.
That's true.
That's not something they're known, especially for a big ticket item, a licensed product. I mean, you have to be licensed to sell a Sony product. So, but that's
Scott
interesting.
Glenn. Scott Glenn is the new team leader we see. Telling people where they're going to be stationed and which person's going to be paired up with whom. But I like this speech. You've been living on the mountain too long, man. You've forgotten the rules.
Why don't you ever play cards with a fellow named Duncan?
Doc.
Oh, Doc. Oh, never mind. Now it makes sense.
Doc.
Sorry.
Doc.
I got it now. I'm with you. The volume's low.
As in holiday, right?
I got it. Yes.
What was it? I saw someone's live feed today, and they were discussing the whole Star Wars situation. Oh yeah, Famous Faces and Funnies. They like to have a live sale like every single day.
Yes, Rick Jay is over there, and they have, by the way, one of the most amazing shops.
No,
they do.
Stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Rick Shea and his team are flippin-tastic. How do I know this? Even though I live a million miles away from the state of Florida, it's because I've ordered from them before, and they are phenomenal. So, but if you live in Florida, outside of Florida, and you're looking for something cool, check out Famous Faces and Funnies because Rick Shea and his crew are 2 thumbs up. There's one of your many marketing plugs that you're going to hear throughout the course of this broadcast, Garrett.
That was well done, sir.
Hey, I mean, I saw them earlier today. They were doing, what was it? They're doing a Star Wars themed live show of selling items. And I asked them specifically, do you have X, Y, and Z? And they're like, yeah. All right. So Ryan, we're going to, offer this to you first, blah, blah, blah. And so nice.
Yep. Yep, it's
surprising, and if he doesn't have it, he can find it for you.
You can believe me. They have
Honestly.
found some stuff I did not expect them to find. It's amazing.
It really is.
We take Cosplay Michael down to Famous Faces and Funnies, and
really?
when he's looking around for things, he will ask for the most obscure items.
It's true.
And by the next time we go, Rick's got them.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll put them
And
aside.
he'll ask him, he said, "Hey, so what are you into right now?"
Yeah.
I think just to get a feel.
He keeps
for
a feel for what people are into in the
kids
market.
are up to it.
He'll look at Michael and say, "So, what are we into now?" And Michael will rattle on the hottest games or the hottest movies, and Rick's is just like taking notes. I'm going to make sure I have that the next time.
That's amazing.
Here's what I don't get. He's close enough, and there's enough of a flat level for them to actually like park the helicopter, and then again attempt to take off once they're all off. So why don't they do that?
Be brutal.
Because the air up there is too thick.
I mean, too
Well,
thin.
he's at his vertical limit. He can't climb any higher because
someone dropped the movie title.
that's right. He is at his vertical limit. That's right. And
Can't go anymore.
and we're actually finding out that physiologically they are all approaching the physiological vertical limit, which is what this movie is actually about.
Yes.
Boy,
That's where the title comes from.
Yeah. And this scene here, the helicopter sequence, like I said, first time I saw this movie, I thought, you don't really, your brain doesn't really think like this when you're really, really young. Some of this stuff I really thought was actually real. And then I watched the behind the scenes footage. I'm like, oh, so they did the helicopter sequence on what do you call it? A sound stage. And they did it with green screen. How do you like them apples?
Yep.
But it looks so real.
Mm-hmm.
The compositing on this is wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
They really did a great job.
Oh, look at this angle shot. Yeah. I think it's good filming and definitely good visual effects. The visual effects artists on this film did a fantastic job, in my opinion.
Well, these early VFX were one of the things that made them so brilliant was because you had to combine elements. So you would have a green screen, you would have a matte shot, and you would have the great scenics. But the particles in the air, those would actually be there. You would blow stuff around on set. So it would be actual practical effects with digital effects, with the compositing. And when you put them all together, you got some very, very cool looking stuff.
Oh, grab his hand already.
That's right.
Before she gets chopped up.
Ow.
Well, they got up. No, they almost had him. Yeah, now they got Peter. Yeah.
Hey.
Finally got him.
Oh, nope. Just kidding.
They got him. Yeah, the team over there were selling, oh my gosh, single issue, anything Star Wars you name, they were selling single. But most people were asking, do you have any Baby Yodas? I'm like, you do realize.
Hot ticket right now, man.
Oh, it's everywhere. It is everywhere.
Right.
My nephew said to my mother, he's because I was at the store last week and I was going to get him something. And the mom was, we need to get him he wants Baby Yoda. I'm like, well, which one? There's like 50,000 versions of the child. And she says, well, let me get back to him. I'm going to text him, send him a text, get back to you. And then when I got to the store, she didn't answer. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to buy it now because we don't know which version of this character he wants. And then when I came home afterwards, she's like, he wants the stuffed animal version, not the action figure version. I'm like, could have gotten that.
They have all
50 billion versions of one character.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that's and then you have
but honestly, Grogu is just the cutest thing on the freaking planet.
Funko Pops, cosplay.
Any planet.
There's costumes for babies and kids and everything.
Funko Pops are a big thing.
Yep.
They're everywhere.
Yes.
Which, by the way, for Black Friday, I went to my local comic store, got 4 graphic novels, and also on a website that I go to a number of times, $7apop.com. They were having a sale each day during Thanksgiving week. One of them was 20% off pops that are bigger than 4 inches. I got a 6-inch Indiana Jones Funko Pop sitting in my room right over here on the bookshelf. It's fantastic.
Nice.
Awesome.
10-inch Indiana Jones Pop. There you go.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Because speaking of cosplay, that's who I cosplay as when I go to conventions when Earth is actually open.
I've seen Ryan in that cosplay. You look absolutely fantastic,
That's right.
sir.
And I look forward to going on more convention adventures once Earth reopens. And yes, don't worry, Garrett and Sage. I'm going to visit you down there in Florida at MegaCon at some point.
Oh, we
Awesome.
know.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen. We're going to have a big, giant, freaking hanging with Web TV party.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine having Ryan out with us at MegaCon?
Oh, yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I wonder what would happen at MegaCon. I wonder.
That is
Lots of treats.
lots of treats. MegaCon is sort of our big show for the year.
It is.
We not only do the big set and show downstairs on the floor, we usually run some activities and panels throughout the entire building,
Mm-hmm.
and including the kids area where we run our Harry Potter sorting hat ceremony.
Oh, yes.
Aww.
We also do panels on internet media, subject panels on different things.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, it is
We may or may not get up to some shenanigans. I can't.
we get
say
up to
one way or another.
we host the MegaCon weekend. We usually host the Friday night show for Kitchen Kill Us
Indeed.
in the MegaCon Airbnb and or hotel, either one. So we make it a full weekend for sure.
That we do.
And we get to hang out. We get to hang out with Cosplay Michael all weekend, and he is a MegaCon rock star.
Well, that's true.
Hanging out with Casa Commotion and Cecil Grimes Cosplay and Cosplay Michael, we get to experience the gamut. So,
Another wonderful plug by Garrett.
yes.
Anything you want to plug while we're sitting here on our couches and tables, ladders, and chairs there, Colin boy? No, I'm kidding. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can save your plugs for the end if you wish.
There you go. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you have coming up this week? I saw there was a handful of broadcasts that you're bringing.
Oh my goodness! If you've seen our behind the scenes StreamYard stuff that we have going on, yeah, we got tons. We have interviews coming up with wonderful podcasters and people who work in different artist forms and industries. What do we have? We have Brandon Troy is going to be with us on Thursday. He is a podcaster. We have, oh my gosh, who else do we have? Brandon Troy and who am I missing? Oh gosh, it's killing me. Why am I blanking? I need you. Phone, I need you. Hold on. This is what I'm in the zone right now, so it's hard for me to. Let me see. Brandon. Oh, Dylan Calicati, who's another podcaster. He's going to be with us on Friday the 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then you got Brandon Troy on Thursday, December the 10th at 12 p.m. EST. So during your lunch break, join us for a happening good time. So that's going to be fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then speaking of watch-alongs, I mean, we're going to do another one coming up very, very soon, but I'll announce it more as we get into more marketing stuff at the end of the show. But just to give you a quick tease for those of you who are watching, we are going to do a 10th anniversary watch-along for the best IMAX 3D experience I've ever had in the theater. It's Tron Legacy, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are going back to the grid. We are going to go with Jeff Bridges and Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde and company. We're going to go to the grid, and we're going to find out what's been going on since the first Tron film from the 80s. Can't wait to do it because Tron Legacy, I'm a big fan of Tron Legacy, and I love the grid. So that's going to be on
More to
December
come.
13th.
I've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
More coming in the Tron universe. Of course, they did the animated too.
Tron Uprising, which is underrated series, yes.
Yep. And then and now I understand there's going to be some more coming that they've been talking about. So yes, more
We
Tron.
shall see. Yep, more Tron is good for the soul.
Indeed.
At least, I mean, the way things are moving nowadays with technology, there's so many storylines and so many directions you can go with that universe of Tron. So that's why we're going to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Tron Legacy on December the 17th. Mark your calendars. It's going to be at 7 p.m. EST right here on Facebook Live on the HWWS Web TV, the Facebook page, our YouTube channel known as Nerd Culture, etc., etc.
I want to see I want to see Peter Jurassic return for his part in in a new Tron movie.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. While he's still alive, because yeah.
Some of those actors are not getting any younger, and they're no spring chickens.
They're not.
I mean, Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde, they're definitely spring chickens. But some of the other actors, maybe not so much.
Boxleitner looks pretty good for his age.
Oh, I got to say, Boxleitner is #LackBoss. I met him at a convention. I had him I wanted him to sign my Tron Legacy Frisbee that I have in my man cave closet over here. And I was having such a good time talking to him that I completely blanked on actually taking it out of my pack and having him sign it. So I just ended up having him sign an 8x10 at his booth. But it was from the movie Tron Legacy and not the original Tron because I'm more of a Legacy fan than an original Tron movie fan. Sorry, but that's the truth.
I saw Tron in the theaters when it came out.
Me too. Me too.
And as we're going deeper and deeper into this great action adventure film that we are so paying attention to, even though we've been marketing ourselves for the last 20, 30 minutes, we are hour 11 minutes into the movie. They are still trying to find a way. The new team is trying to find a way to the team that's been stranded having trouble escaping from this cave. It's very difficult, and they are trying to figure things out as they go along, and the adventure is just getting more and more dangerous the higher they go up the mountain.
Now, Mr. Oh boy,
what's my name?
Mr. Best, our consultant here, did say that was his one pet peeve with the realism of the movie, and that is the speed at which everyone moves at that altitude. For the purposes of film pacing, it's very fast compared to the actual speed you're capable of traveling once you're at that altitude.
Once you're that high, exactly.
Yeah, you kind of slow down. And the edema here, this is an interesting factoid. It's called high altitude pulmonary edema.
Yes.
And it is it affects as much as 15% of all climbers, and can become a chronic problem if you survive it. And it's easy to survive; you just have to get them down, which is where the idea of being trapped in the chasm is so bad, because if she gets down, and if these people get down, they'll be fine. There's all kinds of treatments, and there is medication for when you're up there. However, if you don't get down, then
it's going to get worse.
It does, and it's a horrible, awful way to die. It's akin to pneumonia. So, speaking of cosplay, Michael, as we're watching the movie here, he's decided to come in and say hello.
Is that all the noise I hear in the background?
That's, young Mando is here.
Oh my goodness, I'm so jealous of that.
There he is. He's
Die-hard Mandalorian fan here. Hello, Mando. How are you? How's Grogu these days? Oh wait, I'm sorry. We can't talk about that because he's been kidnapped. But
you let Grogu get kidnapped?
No.
Are you going to get him?
That can't be clarified.
I know you missed the last episode. Baby Yoda got kidnapped. His name is Grogu.
Well, he knows that.
You know that part. Okay. He got kidnapped. Are you going to get him?
Yes.
Awesome.
You're very terse. You've actually mastered the was it Din Djarin? Is that what his name is?
Din Djarin, yeah.
Din Djarin. You've managed to master that terse nature that he has. Short. You're very short answers. Yes. So anything you'd like to say? We are watching a movie called Vertical Limits about mountain climbers who are trapped on a mountain, and the rescue team is coming to get them. Given your many adventures in space, recently we've seen you crash into water. We've seen you crash into an actual snow planet. What do you think their odds are of coming off of that mountain?
If I could hardly do it, I say not that good.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us hope.
Yes.
We're supposed to be spreading hope to the internet while we watch this movie.
Uh-oh.
The holiday season. 'Tis the season to be positive.
I've done something similar, except it was with a sand monster.
Oh, Sand Monster. That's right.
You mean what's that thing called? Crate Dragon. Crate Dragon.
That's right. Sand Monster is the Crate Dragon.
The Crate Dragon. Yeah. Which was basically Star Wars versions of Graboids from Tremors.
This sucks, by the way. This whole sliding down the mountain, rocks are in your way.
He missed that rock.
By the way, this scene scared me when I first saw it. I'm like, there is no way.
Jamming the axe down into the ice. Nothing is working for this guy.
And then it takes him to the last second to put his axe into the ice.
Oh, and there we are.
The ice sheet. Or the last part of the mountain, I should say. The edge of the mountain. That's what
And he hangs onto that pack.
Yes.
So
It does have nitro.
has young Mando over there been wearing this outfit all day, or just now?
It's a fairly recent thing. However, I understand as a part of some kind of code, he is obligated to keep his helmet on.
Yes.
That is true.
Never taking it off.
Oh, okay, never taking it off. Okay,
Yeah, it's not what is it called? Mandalore is not a race; it's a creed.
that's right. And then the not
And then,
taking.
and then Grief Karga, aka Carl Weathers himself, he points at the camera, he's like, that's a creed. Did anyone catch that?
Yes.
No, that was beautiful.
Also, we're finding out thanks to this season, and some of the things that we knew from Rebels and from Clone Wars, that the Watch, as it's known in the series, actually is one of the only orders of the Mandalorian that honor that part of the tradition.
Don't step on that.
Oh no, that does not look like a good idea.
They're trying to cross over and get a pack that has been located within inside that chasm.
That woman is on crack.
Oh.
You mean what's her name? Annie Garrett's character? Yes.
Yes, Annie Garrett she's on crack right now.
Why are you doing this,
The other
Annie?
woman, Monique. She's
Monique.
up on top of the mountain on crack.
Oh,
Annie's like,
Yes.
what?
Annie's down here in the cave going to get the other pack.
Is this bringing back any memories for you, Colin? Of your first experience watching the movie?
Oh yeah.
You said your friends and you were trying to play, what was it, a drinking game?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. What was the rules of this game?
Anytime that something was not physically possible,
Mhm.
like, you've seen a couple of these shots in this film where it's just like,
Sure.
yeah, like none of this should have physically
Worked.
happened.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Trying to get her.
Anytime a trope or ridiculous plot point comes up, So again, that's we weren't able to actually finish the movie because
Dude, we got 15 minutes in. We couldn't do it.
Wow.
It's all right, cosplay Michael. We're not talking about anything that's adulting.
That's the
Oh no, he was just amazed at that.
Yeah.
This is why you wear jetpacks, kids.
Yes, this is why you wear jetpacks, kids. That's right. That's right. Because
Cosplay Michael, thank you so much for being with us on tonight's show. Because I don't know if this watch would be the same without you.
Yeah, don't let this happen to you.
No. My goodness gracious. Boy, this sequence was really intense for me when I first saw it. Oh my god.
I just want to tell you, how tired would his arm be already?
Yeah. I'd be gripping my theater seat during most of this movie.
Strap.
I'm just tired looking at it.
That arm is okay. I mean, it's just going to be there. But the pack.
Yeah.
The pack that he's wearing?
That's,
or no, the pack that he's trying to hold on to, yes.
Question:
Yeah, because
of all the dangerous stuff they have done, what are they on?
a mountain.
A very dangerous and treacherous mountain that's actually a real mountain.
We understand. We understand. Yes.
Oh, I'm just going to throw you over here now.
Quick side note here, Garrett. How's the rest of the Palmature family doing these days?
Well, Dina's over here running the camera.
Yeah. Wave your hand there, Dean.
She's the hand. Dina's here with us. And then Sage and I and Michael. Stephen, he who lifts up heavy things and puts them down, is doing quite well.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian is our last adult child at home. He goes to school, and he just turned 22 yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yes. So everyone here at the HWWS headquarters home is doing really, really well, and we're having a pretty good holiday season, all things considered.
So far,
yeah. Got the set decorated, got the house decorated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And tomorrow we got we're excited. Tomorrow, for you television fans out there, we are going to be hanging out with Lee Zlotoff.
That's right.
The creator of the MacGyver series. The original series and the reboot. He's an executive producer on the reboot, as well as the creator of the MacGyver book series that are out. So we're going to talk to him about a new book he's got out tomorrow.
That's going to be fun.
And that's great. He also created one of my favorite things, which is Remington Steele. I don't know if you guys know the detective show Remington Steele. He created that. I'm a huge fan.
Ryan knows. I saw his face light up.
Yes. Yes, the home
before he was Bond, he was Remington Steele.
Right.
Man,
I remember. I was a
sit
big.
down and watch an episode of that. I still have not seen Remington Steele.
I was a big. As a teenager, I was a big fan of Remington Steele, but I was a big Bond kid back then. I loved the Bond movies. I grew up with Sean Connery and Roger Moore, seeing the different dynamics, the tough Bond versus the elegant Bond.
Oh man, this poor guy has no idea what's coming.
As they started switching Bonds, I remember saying during Remington Steele that I thought Pierce Brosnan would make an amazing Bond. It took 2 Bonds before I finally got my wish, and he did. He made a great Bond.
Bye. He went through all of that.
Yeah, he made it. He had one moment where he took a deep breath and said yes, and then that was all.
And then he got cocky, and that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Snow said, "Oh yeah."
I don't think his being cocky had anything to do with an avalanche, though. Maybe blowing up the side of the mountain with nitroglycerin could have caused the problem.
Maybe, if you say so.
One of these days, I do need to sit down and watch Remington Steele. Before my boy Pierce was Bond, he was Remington Steele, so I got to see that.
What Ryan, you in particular would love the Remington Steele character that Pierce Brosnan brought to life. One of Remington Steele's passions, the character that's created, is films. He is a film buff, and he was the prototype for the quote. And he would get into dangerous situations in the television series, and then he would always liken the situation to a classic film moment. And so he'd get into the situation. He'd say it's like this movie, and he knew the movie that he was trapped in, along with the year it was made and this actor it was starring. And it was one of the places that I learned to enjoy movie trivia, was watching Remington Steele quote movies and throw out trivia in the middle of a case. Somebody's trying to shoot him, and he's like, I know how to get out of this. I'll get out of it the same way William Hurt got out of it in this movie. It was brilliant. It was awesome. And
I have to add this to my Amazon list.
Yeah, and so that was one of the great things. Cosmo, you got one more thing, okay? Because we're watching this movie. So
I don't know why they're complaining. I just did that entire mountain run.
You just did the whole mountain, huh?
Boy, this kid and his one-liners, my goodness gracious.
That's right. So
things we hear on this network.
Thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, and nice outfit, by the way, Mando.
Yeah, he's got the Mandalorian mountain climbing gear.
Oh, I see it now.
I'm gonna go now. I gotta go save Grogu.
Okay, quick.
This is the way. Yes.
Good night, Cosplay Michael. Thanks for joining us for a few moments here in the studios.
So this medication right here is something that climbers do actually carry to help them to help them avoid high altitude pulmonary
edema.
HAPE, HAPE is what is the research on it.
Which is better than the other one. The other one is high altitude cerebral edema.
Yes, that one is.
And that's real bad.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing you can really do if that happens except for go through their pocket and look for loose change, as Billy Crystal might say.
Billy Crystal. Oh, Billy Crystal and your City Slickers. I grew up watching him on City Slickers 2, not the first one. I grew up watching City Slickers Part 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold. And yes, I still enjoy it to this day.
Miracle Max himself.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have fun storming the castle.
Have fun storming the castle.
Yeah, I saw that movie and I was like, okay, Billy's in this too. That's cool. I like the cameo.
There were some great bits that have become classic moments from Princess Bride, but Billy Crystal's performance as Miracle Max has always been one of my favorites.
Is he dead? He's almost dead. Or he's completely
dead.
Mostly
dead. A little bit alive.
Dead. By the way, this person who's one of the team members here in the movie Back to Vertical Limit, she has been injured. One of her fingers has been dislocated. She is asking Chris O Donell to reattach it. Ugh. That made me squeamish.
Yeah.
Oh yes, but he applies a very good distraction technique.
Oh, yes, by asking her about her personal life outside of her medical field on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's a nurse in this movie. She is a nurse. So
Pre-med.
Oh, pre-med. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes.
2 years, 3 years of pre-med before she came.
What did she say in the movie?
I don't know.
2 years of pre-med. I wanted to finish it.
I think she's getting ready to. There it is. 2 years. 2 years pre-med.
That's it. 2 years pre-med. I wanted to finish it. That's why I need the money.
That's right. I need the $500,000 so I can get. So I can get away from my boyfriend.
Which in this case is Robert Taylor's character.
Yes.
Man, reattaching that thing. What is it? Oh my goodness. Oh boy, I'm glad they didn't show him reattaching that on screen.
Yeah.
For our audience out there,
yeah, that was the one thing I was like, oh, please no.
Yeah, for our audience out there, if you guys have ever had a dislocated part and you had to put it back, it is excruciaking.
Yep. It's like having an arm or a shoulder dislocated.
I've done my shoulder. That's
oh boy,
very uncomfortable.
Dislocated limbs. It's no fun. One of our teammates is very upset.
I remember back in when I was very young in my gymnastics days, a friend of mine was doing front tucks, and she over rotated and put her arms out like this, and dislocated both elbows.
Oh
my God!
I can't imagine.
Oh.
By the way, I actually mine was I was diving too steep and jammed, and that's how I did it. But I was little as a kid. I was 17, 18 years old. And that's a common one. The shoulders are common. I guess the shoulders are pretty easily dislocated.
I would think, yeah.
But I've heard people doing it to their wrists and their elbows and other. That finger, that I didn't even think that was possible.
Oh, aren't you glad it showed you that?
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks, Chris O Donell. Thanks for that.
Terry MacGyver is here with us in the chat.
Hello, Terry.
Hello, Terry. Top of the morning to you.
It is not.
It is top of the evening, top of the middle of the night, actually.
What time is it where Terry is? Do we know?
It's 6 hours, I think, ahead of us.
I have made a note in my phone.
Yeah, it's a world clock, isn't it?
Yeah, because of Terry MacGyver, I've actually.
Terry, you and your comments.
It is 1:36 a.m., I believe.
Woo!
Yes.
Gee whiz.
So he has burnt up the midnight oil.
He is the midnight oil.
Thank you for being with us, Terry. You're the marketing machine. So thank you. Terry and your comments. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Oh, talking about injuries now, are we, Terry?
Ugh. Dr. Dulcie.
After we defeat the AM, we'll see about getting you published. That should cheer you up. Oh boy, Colin. Growing up watching Street Fighter in the 90s. Ugh, it's good times, man.
Yeah.
Why do they still call me a warlord? And mad? Oh man. Raw Julia, another early person. Another one that died too soon. We miss you, Raw Julia.
This is definitely a place for the aforementioned drinking game, because you sent the military outposts sent these climbers up with all of this glycerin, right? And apparently when they first left, no one knew that the glycerin would explode in the sunlight.
Apparently
when it's
not.
exposed to the sunlight, yeah.
Yeah. Nobody knew that. Wouldn't that have been a good tip? Shouldn't that be on the canister?
One would think
like a warning label.
That would be an excellent precautionary tip.
Yeah, I mean, one would think before you sent the 4 teams or whatever out there, they would get a nice little sit down where you'd say, look, don't expose the nitro to sunlight. It will explode.
It will go off.
Yeah.
Or it will explode. And Terry, by the way, Terry, thanks for the 90s throwback. Colin, you remember this line?
What's his name? Zangief had the best lines in that movie.
TJ. Yeah, him and TJ.
Yeah, DJ, hell yeah.
Dude, TJ was like, I should have stayed at Microsoft. Didn't Zangief ended up playing the nephew to Christopher Walken's character in Batman Returns? Was that the same actor? The kid who says, you have to go through me. Like, isn't that Zangief? Isn't that the same actor? Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I don't know. I'm just speaking out. I don't know what I'm saying, folks. So just dive back into the movie. I have no idea what's going on. It's late. I don't have a brain.
Okay. We can't hear him all the way from over here.
Yeah.
Run very fast. Get rid of your explosive devices.
What?
Oh, well, now they hear
I
him.
can hear you.
What?
They hear him now.
Hello? Anybody there?
Give me that walkie-talkie. I can hear better than you.
Now run
Just
away
what
from
you
me
can.
very fast. I will run with you. I will not run with you, by the way. If you run away very fast with nitroglycerin, you're running by yourself.
He's gonna let me blow up all on my own.
No. I'm going to hope that you make it.
Thank you. You're not gonna give me a hand? Maybe I'm gonna give you one.
Kids.
My bottle of Mountain Dew is leaking.
This is really not good.
No, this is
There
very
you-
bad.
There you go, Colin.
All you had to do was look.
This is why one never spills
Drop your
Gatorade
water bottle.
outside.
These poor guys.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, it was a near thing. Oh shit.
dude,
Now
I saw some characters in this movie. They were carrying blue water bottles, and some of them were carrying red water bottles. Does that mean they're carrying both warm and cold water?
I want to. I don't know.
Is that a thing
I
that
do
they
wanna
carry up
point
with
out-
them in the mountain?
I do want to point out that the explosion scene, the cut in that explosion scene
Mhm.
was weird. If you were, because I just was paying, I guess, too close attention, and it exploded, and then the guys in the scene whooshed off
They did kind of whoosh off.
but in this kind of a whoosh motion, and I thought that was just a
But they
really
did die laughing.
yes, they were very happy just before they died.
Yes.
That's something the Joker would want you to do. If you're gonna go with a smile.
See? The weasels would like that.
As my plastic surgeon always said, if you're gonna go with a smile. Thank you, Jack Nicholson in 1989's Batman. If you can't tell from some of the episodes and broadcasts that I've been doing with Nerd Culture, I like that movie a lot.
You think she's got a little bit of climber in her hair?
What do you mean?
No,
Like
no, no. She
leftovers?
was far away.
Look, she's covered in stuff that just fell on her from up there.
Really?
Think
I mean,
she's got a little bit of mountain climber?
all over her suit.
Oh, look. You got to be serious now.
We found.
See, they're
we
not
found
that far
something.
apart anymore.
We found something deep within the mountain.
They did.
His wife.
The dwarves dug too greedily and too deep.
I felt really bad for this guy in this scene because he's been looking for it for years.
He finally found the heart of his mountain.
Mhm.
No, okay.
At least he didn't have to go through the mines of Moria. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. Lord of the Rings just popped in my head.
No,
Anybody think they just bought a department store mannequin for this scene?
Do you think they did?
well, yeah, that's
I mean, if you go to the behind the scenes footage, I don't know if they detailed how this scene was shot.
Yeah, because she's frozen, so it's meant to have that lifeless quality about it. So
behind the scenes footage of this movie, part of this movie was actually filmed, a little bit of it anyway, on K2. They actually did get some B-roll, got some footage of people actually being up on the mountain so they can add it for the movie. But the other half of the movie was filmed on sound stages. You know, especially the cavern that the people are trapped in. Believe it, that was filmed on a soundstage, and I'm like, you really could have fooled me, because as soon as they fell into that chasm, I thought,
now
like I said,
where did you say the exteriors were? Where? The exteriors
that was in
we have.
New Zealand.
New Zealand, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Zealand, yeah. Yeah, so it was filmed in New Zealand. Part of it was filmed on K2, the actual mountain, to get some B-roll footage and to add some actual like real footage elements to the actual film. And then they filmed the trap scenes in the soundstage, and that to me is amazing. So great job by the filmmakers.
Well, and no matter where they were, most of the actors, when they were, in their moments, most of them did all of their own stunts.
Yep, a lot of them trained hard for the mountain climb. Some of the mountain climbing sequences.
Some really intensive training.
They had 4 weeks of super intensive training.
They're trained all of them, right?
Yes.
In climbing techniques.
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
Well, Chris O'Donnell tells a story, because obviously they didn't climb this huge high mountain, but he was up like 50 feet. It was one of the first times he had ever been rock climbing like that. He said, and of course, at one point, I slipped with my foot and I thought, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What made me think I could do this movie? But, he recovered because he was well trained.
And if I'm not mistaken, Scott Glenn was actually terrified of heights.
Yes.
Yeah.
The highest he'd ever climbed was the 3-foot step ladder. But then he became the best student because of that.
Yes, isn't that amazing?
That makes actually perfect sense to me.
It does. He's terrified. He's going to be He's going to be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to let anything happen. Yeah.
Aww.
This poor girl. Wouldn't that be horrible if you were trapped up there on this mountain with someone you
Pulmonary
really
edema.
didn't like?
Who you were growing to dislike more by the minute.
Exactly.
Oh, they're communicating with each other again. I believe this is where some of the real life dialogue comes into play.
Annie,
Yes.
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
She has pulmonary edema, so I don't think she's doing quite well at this point.
I got where you were going with that, Colin. So
Thank you.
Yes. That was a musical quote.
Oh, sorry. Ryan doesn't watch musicals very much, so that's
No,
why I
that's
don't-
all right.
No, not that kind of musical.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, never mind. In general, I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, but to each their own. Although I did see Dirty Rotten Scoundrels on Broadway, and that was fun.
We have all of our kids were very theatrical.
Oh, they
So-
still are.
Yes.
Well, I did high school theater myself, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we grew up with our kids being involved in every play and musical adaptation possible. So
Mm-hmm.
That's why you and your family are so good at entertaining audiences around the world.
well, they are.
We just try.
You just try out there.
Mhm. Oh, I don't know. I can be very entertaining sometimes.
Oh, Terry has another clever one here. He says, "Holy snowy mountain, Batman."
Yep.
Thank you, Terry. Don't do it, Peter. Don't risk it. Peter, don't tell Harry. Sorry, that was my
At this
poor
point-
attempt at a comic book movie quote.
At this point, she's like, don't risk it. Don't come any
Mhm.
further. Save yourself. Right.
Yes.
We've already killed off like 5 people
Yeah.
in order to save her. So now it's like, nah, go back.
Nope.
At some point, you just have to say, look, we've already killed off like 5 people. We're getting her.
That's true.
Period.
All right. Wait. Hold on a minute. Let's do a body count. So we had the guy who slid down the mountain in the avalanche. Bloop. So he's gone. That's 1.
Yes.
Then we had the 2 who got blown up. Bloop.
They got
So
blowed
that's
up
3.
good. Mm-hmm.
They got blowed up good.
They got blowed up good.
Oh man. So that's at least 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because our mountaineer's wife had already passed
Oh yeah, he was.
Because of
She's been dead for
because of the ding dong.
like 2 years. Yeah.
There, yeah.
Because of Bill Paxton's character.
Yes.
That's how she died.
Actually, the same way that our young damsel in distress is currently dying.
That's exactly right. That
It was
the
a
exact same
pulmonary
scenario.
edema.
Robin Tunney's character, Annie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Annie Garrett. And now Bill Paxton is going to inject himself with what is known as Dex, which is to help you with certain conditions when you're up high up in a mountain.
then he's gonna be a wiener.
Because he's Bill Paxton.
No, it's because that's what his character is supposed to
It's
do.
what they pay him to do.
True.
And he does it so well.
I didn't watch the entire series, which was the last thing that Bill got a chance to do. But I did see the last episode that he filmed before he passed on of the rebooted Training Day TV series. It was on CBS, which was inspired by the original Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke cop thriller. Which, by the way, that's one of the best cop thrillers ever made. Period. But when that TV series was coming, I was like, why would you reboot something that doesn't need to be touched? But then again, when I heard about Bill Paxton's unfortunate passing, I went over to CBS and I watched the last episode or so, and I'm like, you know what? Wasn't that bad? Bill actually did pretty good with his part.
What's the one that he did?
For Training Day.
No, what was the one he did before that? The series.
Oh, Big Love.
Big Love. Yes.
Oh, Big Love, you mean?
Big Love. Yeah. He had chops. He had acting chops, man.
Yes,
he
did.
He did. You could hate him. You could love him. It really, he seemed to do it almost effortlessly. Although I'm sure that it was a lot of effort.
And I heard he was genuinely like a really, really nice guy to be around. So if he never, I don't think he ever did it, but if he were, hypothetically, if he did go on the convention circuit in the years leading up to his unfortunate passing, I wouldn't have had a problem with meeting him at a convention if I saw him.
No, I understand he was actually very interactive with fans when you see them out and about in places like that. So, it's a different kind of celebrity today.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we have more real type of celebrity. They're not as insulated as they once were, so they interact very well with the fans. Sometimes you get some of the old Hollywood. They didn't do conventions and they didn't do those kind of things because those interactions were too in their face. They liked being insulated from that. Yeah. But today it's almost something you have to do. Social media has made it so you interact a lot more than ever before. So
yeah, get him, Annie.
With your every last bit of strength, get him. Get her. Get him. That was what you were going to say to her, right? Get her. Sorry, that's a Ghostbusters quote. Get her. Even though I'm twisting the words, but I apologize.
Get her, Ray.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. I was referencing the library scene. I was like, what exactly does he say during that scene? Is it just get her or go get her, Ray? By the way, does your family have a history of mental illness by any chance? My uncle thought he was St. Jerome. I'd say that's a big yes. The 80s, man. You had so much good stuff in the 80s. It's so true.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the point where we're going to jump the shark.
Which, by the way, this is featured in the trailer. And then when I saw this for the first time in the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe he just did that.
I'm going to be a superhero.
I cannot believe he just did that. He's about to go from one side of it.
Robin.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going from one side to the other. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Way too scary for me.
Nope.
It's way too scary for me, boys.
It's a good thing he let out enough rope.
And actually, for those extreme sports folks out there, the leap and the catch, while difficult, are done. For the altitude that they are purporting to be at, not so much.
That's
the running start, he would have been dead before he got off the edge. Because at that altitude, you can't breathe.
Yeah.
So he would have killed himself before he got to jump off. Although if you're an extreme sports fan, you've probably seen that move at lower altitudes and under different conditions. But
I'm just saying though, because
not me, baby. I'm not.
And I see him just flying across the thing, and he's the rope is behind him, and all I can think of is what if all of a sudden he goes bloop. That would be awful.
You think she really didn't like him, right?
Well,
she's just up there waiting for him to leap so she can go yank. Yeah.
It's going full Donner Party in here.
Yeah. This is brilliant, though. I had.
Yeah.
I don't know where this idea came from, but it was actually a pretty brilliant idea. I wonder if this is a survival. I wonder if it's a survival technique or a climber's tactic or something. I don't know.
Maybe if you happen to have a Ziploc bag and a dead animal. Not that I'm saying
Animal person,
Tom
whatever.
is an animal, but like you said, it's survival tactic.
She didn't mean it, Nick.
I'm sorry.
You died valiantly. Not really. He just kind of laid there and got an air embolism
wasn't
pumped
his
into
fault.
him.
See, I told you it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
Do it.
How much blood did they get out of him?
I don't know, a lot.
Yeah.
Well, in the
Oh,
bag,
and chunks of him,
in the
too.
bag, it only looked like a quart or two.
Right,
But
exactly.
honestly-
There's no way there was that much in there.
Yeah. The bag only looked like a quart or
Empty
two,
bags.
but it looked like 4 gallons on the snow.
It really
Yeah.
did.
Plus, did anybody else
And
notice
chunks of schmucks.
I was going to say, did anybody notice the solid bits?
Yes, no, yeah, we noticed.
That was,
There's
Blah.
chunks.
yeah. It's like, hey, we can use the blood to color the snow. And at the point at which I stop throwing up in my mouth and I say, yeah, let's do that. You're like, hey, just for added effect, let's cut off some chunks and throw it in
Oh,
there.
well, you know.
Like, no, we have to draw the line somewhere.
Oh, and there they are. Oh, thank you so much for that. That is an awful lot of blood.
Yeah. We don't actually have that much, a whole lot in us.
That is true. What do we have? 8 gallons or some crazy thing?
I don't know the answer. You'd have to Google that.
Oh, I think we do. I think we have 8 gallons.
Look, a piece
That's
of
maybe it's
useless.
not gallons.
No,
Oh, now I'm gonna have to figure that out.
that's a useless piece of knowledge that I don't have.
I do. It's 8 something. Hold on.
Now I remember the question I was gonna.
Oh, pints. It's pints, not gallons. Sorry.
Yeah.
10 pints of blood.
10 pints
10
of blood.
pints. Yeah.
I only saw about 2 pints in the bag. I don't know about you guys. And I didn't see any chunks in the bag, not till there was a explodey thing. And
Yes, and then all of a sudden you saw them.
yeah,
Oh man, what is that?
why are we doing this again? But why are we blowing things up again?
It's gonna be all or nothing on this
All
one.
bigger so we can get them out.
It's gonna be all or nothing.
Oh boy.
Here's what I don't get. Why are they using a detonator? Once the sun hits it, it's going to blow up, right?
Yeah, that's what
It's
we've been
supposed
led
to.
to believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I guess there's just too much snow going on that the sun's not showing.
Storm, yeah, there's a storm going on.
Yeah,
Sure.
I guess we're not going to risk it. I guess.
I guess.
There's your winter storm.
I don't know.
Whoa,
Click,
there it goes.
There we go.
click, click, boom. Oh, not yet.
Yes, I understood that reference, and I have that song on one of my mixtapes.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's but I'm trying to think what. So it's almost. I think that song is 20 years old, if not more, isn't it?
Oh, thank you.
No, we're still young, Sage. Don't worry about it. I'm just saying. That's like old school. So it's a little bit old school Saliva there, but it's hey. I remember listening to their music through that. What was it? The first time I heard Saliva was through the Fast and the Furious soundtrack,
Mm-hmm.
which coincidentally enough, that movie came out in the year 2001. So, yeah. That's the funny thing about me and my movies. Every time I watch a movie, I'm always learning new things about certain pieces of music and songs that are featured in movies. And I'm like, I really like this song. Where can I find it? And then I go on iTunes or another streaming service. I'm like, oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
great songs. And then I eventually downloaded them on the mixtapes, aka CDs, which I still use. I still have a 6 CD changer.
Wow.
Yeah. It's in my Batmobile. Yeah.
That's all right, dude. My dad still has his old 8-track cassette player.
Goodness gracious.
Standing.
That is classic right there.
It's actually
And he still has some 8-tracks.
It's a
8
super,
tracks.
super quality recordings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
My dad
Super
always-
quality recordings.
My
Yeah,
dad actually
the-
has an old reel-to-reel projector.
Wow.
Yeah. He's got no
Like-
film for it, but
Yeah, my goodness gracious. The mom and pop store that was near my home at one point was selling old school records and vinyl and stuff like that. And then vinyl started to make a comeback, and now vinyl is almost everywhere now. Like even at comic book stores, I see people selling vinyl.
Mhm.
It was interesting. The reason why vinyl went out of vogue was because of the sound quality. you're essentially chiseling sound into the vinyl.
Yes.
And
your
so
grooves, that's where groovy
the
came
yeah,
from.
so
That's right.
those grooves are not very smooth though. So there is a built-in static and things like that to them. So while they were easy to mass produce and cheap to make, it went out of vogue as soon as we could shrink a tape. That's when it first happened. Because the 8-track tape, the 8 tracks took up a lot of tape. So as soon as we could shrink the tape down, and we had magnetic tape, and then CDs. So vinyl went out of vogue because it was better sound quality. But the pure sound is something that people now are looking to get away from. It's too pure.
Yes.
Doesn't feel musical or performance based. So the vinyl has become extremely popular among the audiophiles because they want to hear that rough cut, which is interesting. Your dad and I were actually talking about that one day, the rough nature of the record and how it adds kind of a flavor to it.
That's cool.
It's interesting.
Bill, the amount of history lessons I'm getting tonight is just it's fascinating.
You knew it was going to happen.
Bill Paxton.
Oh, he's about to go after Scott Glenn now.
I don't think you should do that, Bill Paxton.
Oh, don't be a moron.
I think Scott Glenn will kick your butt, Bill Paxton. Don't do it. You know what he's thinking to himself right now? Damn screenwriters, they made me a good guy.
One of the things I like about this movie, and this is something that I know a lot of people interpret this differently for certain movies. They think, oh, this element of the film works great, or some people just, it's just average. It's nothing. It's fine. The score in this movie by James Newton Howard, I think, really adds a really good element to this film, and it really makes you feel like you're on this mountain, you're going on this adventure, but you want to, help save the people you're trying to save, and all this. It just brings out the atmosphere and the mood in this movie. So James Newton Howard, my hat's off to you, because this is one of my favorite scores in an action adventure film.
The score in a film like this is actually extremely important. It really is. Because
it's like another character.
Yeah, it really is, because without it, you just don't feel the stakes. The action and the suspense is all built, by the music.
Oh yeah.
This situation looks a bit familiar,
doesn't it? And we're back
in the car. Yes.
Oh boy. Have to make a decision.
Not again.
I love the prayer.
Yep. Saying his final goodbyes.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are back at the camp. The medical tent.
Yes, because it would take too long for us to show you the rescue effort and how they managed to get her barely breathing back down off of
that. Therein lies the thing. They got her out barely breathing. They had to get her down the mountain though, which was perilous to come up. So and now he had to jump across that chasm to get over to where she is.
Mm-hmm.
Get down. Do they have to jump back? Because that's not going to happen.
Oh, definitely not.
No.
That's why they don't show you.
They're not showing us any of that.
No.
And apparently,
smoochy,
and apparently they're not going to show us what happened here either, because that was not a thing going up the mountain.
I'm not sure if they leaned it, if it was just a friendly kiss, thank you for saving each other's lives, or is there a bit of a romantic interest that's going to lead into something else later with those two?
I don't know. Her head she followed him around. Did you see that?
I did.
He tries to walk around and she's like, "Oh no, you don't."
That's true.
So yeah, there's a little come hither in that.
There's maybe a few sparks flying. No.
Yeah.
Well, close death will do that to you.
Apparently.
I mean, really, she almost died.
Isn't it awkward? Isn't her boyfriend down there at the camp?
Yeah, Skip Taylor's still there.
Yeah, Skip's down there at the camp, man.
Skip's
He's
still
been
down
holding
there.
down the fort, keeping him apprised on those dangerous things like weather and things. You know, he's been doing his bit. Wasn't his fault. He got sidelined. Scott Glenn said, "Go down. You're out."
Well, because he doesn't trust the people that are manning the controls in there. He's like, I need someone down there I can trust. Taylor, the mountain better than anyone.
Yeah, so he it wasn't his fault.
He got sidelined, unfortunately. I would have liked to have seen Longmire before he was Longmire go up that mountain, save some people, but hey, he was manning the camp. He had to keep them rolling with the team, so I understand.
It's all beat up here. You know, she's thinking, no more lead roles.
She doesn't want to be.
I'm going to go do television.
For I'm trying to think, how many seasons was that? 7 years that she did The Mentalist with what was the actor's name? Simon Baker. Baker, The Mentalist.
Going to go do television. I won't get all beat up that way.
Yeah. Still was a crime procedural though, but she did a pretty good job for that show. Oh, and Moriam of Montgomery Wick and his wife.
Indeed.
Now, memoriams like this, as I understand it, are all over K2. They're also at Everest.
Yep.
Oh, Everest, yeah.
Several of the really big climbing sites where they have these memorials.
Then, depending on the mountain, I mean, like some of those, what do you call it? Some of those people who died up on the mountain are used as navigation markers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you call it? Green Boots Cave.
Yep. It is. So there we go.
Wow.
Nice aerial shot. Now, guys, think back to this. This is 2000. An aerial shot like this means a helicopter.
Yes.
Means a pilot, a helicopter, fuel,
and a decent Steadicam.
Yeah.
You know, this is a very expensive process 20 years ago. Today it's a drone shot. It's pricey. It's pricey, but it's not as expensive as a helicopter. So,
yeah. Well, the movie is officially over, ladies and gentlemen. The credits are rolling. That brings us to the end of our feature presentation. But I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who chimed in the chat. I want to thank you all who did watch this movie along with us, whether it be through a streaming service or your local Blu-ray/DVD player. But real quick, I want to get some post-game thoughts here. Colin, what did you think of this movie, seeing it for the first time in this many years?
Oh, I mean, it's still just as delightfully awful as before. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like this movie speaks to the side of me that loves just utter garbage in film, because that's what this movie is. It's such garbage, but I enjoy it. Like, there's that scene in 2012 where the arcs are like floating out of alignment. And they're like, what's that alarm? We're about to crash into the north face of Everest. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, I can see your point there. But other than that, you enjoyed it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I love this movie. I love it for how bad it is.
It's so bad that it's good in your opinion.
Yeah. It's so bad.
Look, I can understand that. According to our not so good friends, because I don't make many friends over at this place called Rotten Tomatoes, because I disagree with more than half of what they say about the movies that I enjoy. This movie currently holds, I believe, a 49% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So it got between mixed and negative reviews from the critics, so to speak. I don't know what the audience rating is off the top of my head, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if a person enjoys the movie, you enjoy the movie. That's all that matters. So Garrett and Sage, I'm going to throw this over to you. What did you think of this movie, and did you enjoy it? And are you under the thought process that Colin is, that it's so bad that it's good, or do you think differently?
You know, I think different movies are designed to do different things. This is a pure popcorn movie. This is sit, eat your popcorn, drink your drink, enjoy some adventure, and this isn't high drama. It's not high art. They're not pretending to. There's no there are some undercurrent messaging going on, things like that, but it's not this is not literature on film. This is sit down, enjoy your popcorn, and root for the good guys.
Enjoy the adrenaline rush that we are going to give you. It's not like we talked about with Cliffhanger with the the heist and all the no, there's none of that.
These are just
straightforward adventure. Here it is.
Exactly. And so
the actors are fun.
I think if you take it for what it is, then it's a good ride. It's a fun way to spend a couple hours hanging out, talking with friends and watching a movie. I enjoy that. But I enjoy a lot of those kinds of movies. I mean, I'm not looking for, some nights I'm just not looking to have anybody, deep dive into my psyche and teach me something. Sometimes it's just a lot about having a little fun.
That's true.
And these kind of movies are just that.
That's exactly right.
It's a pure popcorn
you can
film.
talk and you can talk while they happen. I'm one of those horrible people who talk during
guys,
movies.
We sat here. We didn't miss a thing. We sat here. We talked. We pitched. We all of this stuff for the last 2 hours. And you guys didn't. If you're watching with us at home or on DVD, you didn't miss a thing. We came back in. You knew exactly where you were. You knew exactly what you're going. It's a formula movie.
They caught us at all the important parts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? All the adrenaline rushes. We all looked up, and it caught our attention when it was supposed to.
I guess we don't like to admit it. This part of us doesn't like to admit that there's a formula to the way our brains work. You can play us. You can entertain us with a formula. And this is a formula movie. It has all the points in all the right places. We can tune out, tell you what we're doing next week, come back, and we're right where we're supposed to be.
Yep.
The formula works. And it entertains you and you have a good time.
That's it. So, how about you, Ryan?
I'm digging it, man.
Yeah, no, after watching this for the first time, it's been a little bit, not too long as some of the others who have been watching this film, but no, I still like this movie. I still enjoy it. I get something out of it. And the score by James Newton Howard really brings a little extra oomph and adrenaline to the film and sets the tone, sets the mood, if you will. So yeah, I still enjoy this movie. I will continue to watch until the end of my days. I mean, it's up there. And plus, I've been a fan of Martin Campbell since '95's GoldenEye. I'm a big James Bond fan. So when he directed GoldenEye, then he did he rebooted. Look how many characters this guy has rebooted. He's rebooted James Bond not once but twice. He rebooted Zorro in 1998 with The Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, who I've had a crush on for the longest time because of that movie, and Entrapment. I just want to point that out, Catherine. We haven't forgotten about that. And other films that Martin Campbell's done. Now, granted, Martin Campbell had a bad day. All directors have bad days, right? Martin Campbell, you had a bad day with Ryan Reynolds and Green Lantern, but I'm not blaming you for that because that was the studio's fault, not you, okay? But outside of that, Martin Campbell's a very darn good director. He knows how to work well with actors. He knows how to work well with action sequences and work together with other people to put together a good score. So, yeah, I enjoy this thing. But at the end of the night, I want to thank everyone for joining us. But real quick, before we get out of here, Colin, where can the good people of the interwebs find you and everything you have coming up?
The good people of the internet can find me at www.cassiestudios.com, where we have multiple podcasts to be enjoyed for your listening pleasure.
That's
really about it.
That was incredibly short and sweet and to the point, Colin. Wow.
Yeah. Colin's a heck of a podcaster. Wow. I should know. I've seen him do his shows with him and his team at conventions because he lives up near my area of the woods. It's fantastic. Him and his team are fantabulous. But aside from that, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett and Sage, where can the good people of the interwebs find you and all the great events that you have coming up at HWWS Web TV?
Well, that's where they can find us. You can go to hwwswebtv.com.
There
you go. You can check this out there or on Facebook at HWWS Web TV.
And on Twitter and on Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram, all the grams and itters. I don't know where I was going with that.
Wow, grams and itters. Okay.
Yeah. You can also find the show itself at Hanging with Web Show or right here on HWWS Web TV, along with a host of about 15 other shows.
Yes.
That our team is bringing out every day. There's not a day you can't catch an HWWS Web TV show.
That is very true. There's always something going on. As Colin says, it's a host of wonderful podcast shows.
Yes.
And video and
stuff. And audio, HWWS Indie Music Radio every day of the week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all independent music all the time.
Just say, okay, Google, talk to Indie Music Radio.
Or using your Amazon device, you can say,
What? Sorry about that.
Google was trying to talk to us as we're trying to wrap up our own show.
Yes, Google actually was going to open the.
But yeah, you just find everything that we do rated at HWWS Web TV.
Indeed.
Google, stop talking. Anyway, I'm just throwing a zinger there for the fans. But anyway, listen, you can find me and everything that we're doing here at Nerd Culture on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at It's Nerd Culture. Tons and tons of videos are being posted each and every week. We are not going to leave you in this holiday season empty-handed. We got plenty of gifts. Special things are coming your way very soon, whether they are watch-alongs of Going Back to the Grid with Jeff Bridges, a.k.a. I'm the Dude, on Tron Legacy, as well as interviews with some podcasters and other people in the creative fields. Cannot wait to share those with you. But in the meantime, everyone out there, stay healthy, stay safe, stay strong, celebrate the holiday season, stay strong with it, and watch movies. Good night, everybody.